Now, considering the next subtopic, we are still dealing with the course Mat105. Okay, so here in this case, we have to consider what we call the measure of what? The measure of dispersion, or you call it what? Measure of variation. That's another way of stating that. Now, under this, remember that I said that under measure of dispersion, that is where we have the range. Okay, that's where we have the range, and the range is just equals to the highest value minus the lowest value of the data given to you. Okay, if I decide to pick the previous example, let's find the range for this. That's very direct. Just pick the highest value. The highest data is 8 and the lowest data is 1. So 8 minus 1 is what? 7. Hence the range is 7. Just highest value minus lowest value. That's all. And I remember that under this range, that's where we have the interquartile range and we have the semi-interquartile range. But please take note of this. Interquartile range is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. Remember, I've explained this in the previous video. So next one is the semi-interquartile range. The semi-interquartile range means this subtraction. Semi-interquartile range means Q3 minus Q1 divided by what? Divided by 2. Just divide it by 2, since it's semi. And then now the next one is, after range, that's when we have the mean absolute deviation. How do we find the mean absolute deviation? The mean absolute deviation simply implies that you are trying to take the summation of the absolute of each data given to you, but you have to deviate that data from the mean itself. This is what we call absolute. Absolute. See, this thing that is there is what we call absolute. Then divided by what? Divided by the number of items given to you. That's all. But if frequency is given, just put F here. And if frequency is not given, just leave it like this. So this is the formula for mean absolute deviation. So let me quickly pick an example. Let's say we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. And I want to find the mean absolute data for this. So you know that the formula, I need mean. So I'll quickly find the mean. I'll just do 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 divided by what? 4. So the mean is 5. So since x bar is what? Is 5. Can you see that? Then you now come here and say, okay, take x. This is the first one, 2. 2 minus x bar, which is 5. Take the absolute. That's all. Summation means keep on adding it. Plus, what's the next data? Pick the next data. The next data is 4. 4 minus, deviate it from the mean. Okay, do you see that? Take the absolute again. Pick the next data, 6. Minus what? The same mean given to you. You do it like that until you finish. Okay, so that's all. Then divided by what? Number of items. What's the number of items given to us? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4 of them. So what is 2 minus 5? 2 minus 5 is minus 3. So this is the work of the absolute, to remove the signs. When you take the absolute of negative sign, you should have positive. So 2 minus 5 is minus 3. Absolute of minus 3 is always 3. Okay. 4 minus 5 is minus 1. When you take the absolute of minus 1, you have 1. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay. And 8 minus 5 is what? 3. When you take the absolute of positive, you have a positive sign over 4. Now 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. 8 over 4. Hence, your mean absolute deviation is what? Is 2. For this kind of question, this is how you solve it. But what if it has frequency? Something like this. How will you find the mean absolute deviation for this kind of question? It is very, very direct. Now listen. To find the mean absolute deviation of this thing, I need the mean. X bar. What is X bar? Have I gotten X bar before? No. So what's the mean of this thing? Mean is summation fx. I've explained that one before. Summation fx over, I think I did not really explain for group data, sorry. Mean is equals to summation fx over summation f, but I believe you should know that. It's not something that is really hard. Fx means multiply this one together. Fx means multiply this and this. 10 times 2 is 20. Okay. Summation plus, multiply the next data, f and x. 5 times 3 is what? 15. So you do it that way until you are done with it. 3 times 7 is 21. 8 times 4 is what? Is 32. and then 12 times 8 is 96. So that's correct. Divided by what? The number of, divided by summation of f. When you sum all this f together, we got 38. So now let's find x bar. Now x bar means 20 plus 15 plus 21 plus 32 plus 96. Done. Divided by 38. I got 4.84. So the mean is what? 4.84. That's what I have. Now let's find the mean absolute deviation. Since x bar is equals to 4.84, then the mean absolute deviation when you have frequency, remember that this is the formula, summation x minus x bar over what? Over n. But here in this case, you now have frequency. If you have frequency here, you put the frequency. Whenever you have it, you put the frequency, you multiply this deviation, and then you also divide by what? Summation f. That's all. So this is what you're going to do. You pick each of those values for, you pick the deviation, okay? You know, you need x minus x bar. That means I need 2 minus this result, Abby. But it's also multiplying 10. So frequency, if I pick this first frequency now, 10. Okay? 10 is multiplying the absolute of what? This 2 that is here, minus 4.84. Do you understand that? Then you do it plus. Next one. Pick the next frequency, 5. Take the absolute of, when you deviate 3 and what? The mean together, 4.84. So that's how you keep on doing it, plus. So pick the next frequency. The next frequency is 3. Absolute of, pick the value for x, 7. I'm picking x now, then minus the mean. Minus mean is what? 4.84. So then you go ahead and add it with, when you pick the next frequency, which is what? 8. The data here is 4, minus the mean, which is 4.84. The next one is to do what? Plus, pick the next frequency, 12. The data is 8, minus the mean is 4.84. Then divide by the number of items, which is summation of f, and that's 38. So to do this is very, very direct. If I were you, I will not make use of, I'll just use my calculator straight up. And how will I do that? I'll just put 10 here. I have a fraction first, 10, open a bracket. I believe I'm working with absolutes, okay? I'm dealing with absolutes, so I don't think there is absolute sign on this calculator, but I believe some calculator has it too, okay? But here in this case, I'll just try to avoid minus. So I can see clearly that if I do 2 minus 4.84, I'll surely get a negative answer. So I'll just swap it, so I'll not have a negative answer. 4.84 minus 2. Do you understand my point? So I will not have the negative answer there. Plus, next one is 5. So I can see that this 3 minus 4.84, I will get a negative answer, and I want to take the positive. So that means I will just do the other way around. 4.84 minus 3 to make it faster. Okay, then plus, next one is 3 open bracket. This one is direct, so no need of swapping this. Since this is greater than this, I can't have a negative answer. 7 minus 4.84. Okay, so that's how you keep on doing it until you get to the last data. The next one is 8. 8 of 4 minus 4.84, and the last one is 12 times 8 minus 4.84. So whatever you get now is divided by 38. So I have 941. So my mean absolute deviation is 1.98. Do you see that? Final answer is what? 1.98. So you can't use calculator to solve mean absolute deviation. But do you know I can use calculator to get this mean? I can insert this table on this calculator and then find get 4.84. So how will I do that? Let me explain that. So if I switch off this calculator now, these are the steps. Switch it on. Okay. Then you press this mode button. When you press the mode button, can you see start 3 start on the screen? When you press start, I don't have any business with all this expression I have here. So you can go ahead and press this AC button, this one that you have here. So when you press AC button, you see this start displaying on the screen. All this fraction will not be displayed, which means it's not in natural display mode again. So the next thing for you to do is to press shift and 1, which is start mode. Shift and 1. Then you go for data. I want to put in my datas. Okay, 2. So can you see that frequency is on? Sometimes you might decide to press that and you not see these two colons. That means the frequency, so you might only see just one colon. This is what I'm trying to. I can switch off that frequency. I can remove that frequency by pressing shift and mode. You can see this down arrow key. Press this down button, and then you will see start 4. It's asking you, do you want to switch on the frequency or you want to switch it off? If I switch it off and I go back to that shift and 1, shift and start, okay, and I go to that data, you see that the frequency colon is not there again. So I'll switch it off. So I want to switch it on back. Shift and mode, come down, start is 4, frequency, switch it on. So then I'll go ahead to data and then put all these values. Okay, if I put 2 equal to, press 3. This 3 will not go inside until you press equal to sign. Okay, 7, then 4, then 8. So move to the right hand side and then you go up. Number 1, can you see that? So the frequency is 10, 5, 3, 8 equal to, and then 12 equal to. So that's all. You are free to press your AC. You can press this AC. So I want to look for mean. How do I find mean? Just press shift and 1. Go to this variable, this VAR number 4, and then see X bar. This X bar means mean, arithmetic mean, that's 2. And this number 3 here means standard deviation, sigma. And this is sample standard deviation, whereby we always divide by n-1. So this for standard deviation and this for variance. And we all believe that if I know standard deviation, I'll surely know what the final answer for variance will be. I'll just square my result. So I'm looking for mean. I'll press 2. X bar is what? Just press equal to 4.84. You see, that's very correct. So I've tried my possible best to explain that. So that's how to solve mean for this kind of table and mean absolute deviation for this kind of table. Now let's deal with this. Let's deal with this kind of table, another group data with class interval. So something like this. How will you find the arithmetic mean for data like this? That was when I explained what we call the class mark. You need the class mark. You know, it's always x that we need. So if you know the x value of this, just the midpoint. Find the midpoint. That's 3. This one is 3. This one is 6. And this one is what? This one is 9. The last one, is this one 9? Yeah, this one is 9. So the next one will be what? 12. 9 plus 3, that's 12. So I already have the class marks. So instead of using 2 goes to 4, we are using 3 this time around. Since I have class mark to be 3, I have this one to be 6, I have this one to be 9, and this last one will be what? Will be 12. So then this will just be in place of what? 3. Okay, you're only doing, if you want to solve by hand, let's say you want to find the arithmetic mean, you need f times s, fx, 3 times 2, 6 times 5, like that. I can also use my calculator to do that. Okay, the same mode, we could just go to shift and 1, 616 statistics mode, then data. Okay, data, that's 2. So then you can just put those values. Just put 3, 6, 3 equal to 6 equal to, then you have 9 equal to and 12 equal to. So I can remove the last one, delete it. So then put in the, can also put in the frequencies. The frequencies are 2594, 259, then 4. Okay, can you see that? I don't know why this is not clear. Now can you see that clearly now? So when you are done with that, you can decide to press AC, shift and 1, VAR. If you need standard deviation, you press this, but that's for mean. Mean is 8.25, so that's how it works. Okay.